Howdy, howdy, y'all. It is another I Am That episode. Chapter 96 Abandoned Memories and Expectations. Abandoned Memories and Expectations. This should be pretty understandable, I think, if you've especially been following along with the book, why Maharaj is very insistent upon this idea of abandoning one's memories and expectations. And I mean, I would say just from my own personal life, even just before getting into like the chapter itself, like this is certainly something I feel myself doing, and I think in a lot of parts because of reading these chapters, is I do find myself having less expectations about like the outcome of things and just in general, and then much more of a becoming a bit more just accepting things as they are. You definitely want to do. I mean, still have that you know desire to do action and to do things and whatnot, but you just I've just at least for me I've been definitely much more accepting of letting things happen, accept what comes. Um, which is actually funny enough, that's what the questioner at one point asks, what is self surrender? And that's exactly what Maharaj says. Accept what comes. So I think by that definition, I've definitely been doing a bit more of the self-surrendering for sure. And there is a bliss, there's a happiness from that for sure. The more you're able to just abandon preconceived notions of just everything, just really all of it. Um, another a point that I found really interesting. So at one point, the questioner says, "So even Nani's has his problems." Maharaj, yes, but they're no longer of his own creation. His suffering is not poisoned by a sense of guilt. There is nothing wrong with suffering for the sins of others. Your Christianity is based on this. And he says your Christianity. I think it's mostly because he's an American, which, I get it. Especially at this time, you gotta remember that. I mean, that is just probably was the case. Like, most people were Christians to some extent or another. So, yeah, reasonable, assumption. Though it seems like he's definitely from this guy's general background and story, he's been just one of these Americans, went to India, traveled there, met various different gurus. And what's interesting is at one point, the questioner, is like essentially just kind of like, why isn't any of this working? And, and it's because Maharaj explains, you're just being curious. You're not being earnest. Because he just brings up earnestness again a lot in this chapter, which is a common theme he does. But he brings up that, well, you're not really actually just being earnest about this stuff. You're just being curious. This is very surface level. In order for this sort of stuff to work, you got really dived into it and actually be earnest. Uh, Another interesting point. So at one point, the questioner is there no way of making out who is realized and who is not? Maharaj, your only proof is in yourself. If you find that you turn to gold, it will be a sign that you have touched the philosopher's stone. Stay with the person and watch what happens to you. Don't ask others. Their man may not be your guru. A guru may be universal in his essence, but not in his expression. He may appear to be angry or greedy or over anxious about his ashram or his family and may be misled by appearances while others are not. Questioner, have I not the right to expect all around perfection, both inner and outer? Maharaj, inner, yes, but outer perfection depends on circumstances, on the state of the body, personal and social, and other immutable, innumerable factors. And so this is making it, I think, he's building up for an interesting case of saying like yeah, you're in terms of the inner, the guru will be perfect. He will be perfection. And I would even probably go as far as to say that is by definition what the guru is. Is by definition is someone who is perfected within, and but when he's talking about, oh, but not the outer, that's not perfection. he's just talking about, just the human element, just them as a person, and that the very most outer layer that we kind of all seem to think is us. That seem to think is ultimately us. He's like, no, that part is just going to be a person, and that's just going to be people are just how they are because of like he says, these various different factors. And I would say, yeah, pretty much, state of body, personal, social, and other immutable factors. I mean, yeah, it just essentially just depends on where they grow up, depends on how they have their life, all this stuff. That's why you can have, for example, you can have a guru who does seem kind of like a jerk, who seems like a jerk, but is still ultimately someone of love and compassion within, even though they may, express themselves in a not so kind way or nice way at the time. Because remember, there's difference between being nice and kind. Kindness is deep. Niceness is just surface level. And so you have that. This chapter is let's see, it's like about 5 pages, so it's about standard length. Uh, is I like it. It's a very good chapter. I'm not sure. I mean, I think this could have probably been anywhere in the book. I mean, you could definitely probably could have put it more in the center, in the middle of the book, and it would have been probably fine too, in terms of like what it's talking about. So let me see what else do I really want to do here, because I'm trying to think. Like I said, it's not a bad chapter. I'm just trying. I don't want to be too redundant with a lot of the other chapters and stuff I've done. Like I said, it's a very like in terms of just as a chapter, it's very solid. It does have a quote. I was saving it for last to read, and I do love it. It's a good quote. In terms of how it ends, like the ending part of the chapter, it is. Um, I like it because like I find it interesting because Maharaj, it's like because the questioner asks, "Is morality important?" And the way Nisargadatta Maharaj responds, I found really interesting. Don't cheat, don't hurt. Is it not important? Above all, you need inner peace, which demands harmony between the inner and the outer. Do what you believe in and believe in what you do. All else is a waste of energy and time. That one hit me pretty. It's pretty powerful. Like, whoa, yeah, and it's true. Like, it is that simple. I mean, ultimately, like, why do something you don't believe in? That's not. It's ultimately not real. It's ultimately a waste of your time and energy, and that's how you never have harmony with yourself. If you're just always doing these things that you don't believe in, don't care about. That's why you see so many people who just feel trapped and feel certain ways about life and everything because they do all these things they just don't believe in, and there's just they crush themselves. They let them souls, their very essence, just be crushed. So that, like I said, that one really hit me. It's a very good chapter. Like I say, overall, pretty decent chapter. The I would say the questioner is. I mean, he's not the sharpest questioner of them. I think though it's mostly more so, like I said, it's because the expectations and the memories and all that. So that's why I would say this chapter is very well named because because the name of this chapter is highlighting exactly what the problem with this questioner is. So this chapter is very good in being named just for that reason. Now for Maharaj's quote, the Maharaj quote at the end. General knowledge develops the mind, no doubt. But if you're going to spend your life in amassing knowledge, you build a wall around yourself. To go beyond the mind, a well-furnished mind is not needed. Just puzzling over my words and trying to grasp their full meaning is sadhana practice, quite efficient for breaking down the wall. So I guess just doing this. I'm hoping this counts as that as well, and I hope me just putting out these, reviews for these chapters, is trying to, regurgitate a little bit of this wisdom, maybe in a way that someone else, it might help someone else be like, oh yeah, that's all I want to do. And so I think I'll just end it there because, like I said, very solid chapter, very solid book. I can't recommend this all enough. So please, um, Hare Krishna, uh, peace be upon you all, and namaste. And I hope you all have a fantastic day, fantastic whatever. Just enjoy life. Get out there. Do stuff. Be you.